All right, we are live. Hi, I'm Zane Daniel. I'm a Hathor energy healer, and I'm the director and the founder of the Higher Self Expo, which is an online metaphysical conference. It takes place September 12th and 13th, and we have 22 speakers or 22 slots worth of speakers over those 2 days. That's a Saturday and a Sunday. Unless you're in Australia, then it's a Sunday and a Monday, and it happens at like 3 in the morning. So those unfortunate folks. But what's nice about all that actually is, of course, it's all recorded and it's always available, so you can go back and watch it on either Facebook or on YouTube. And then I'll probably end up splitting up the talks individually on YouTube as well. And actually, right now, we want to get our YouTube channel up to 1,000 subscribers, if at all possible, because we did just launch that just really a couple of weeks ago. And we're up in the 300s at this point. So anybody watching now that hasn't already subscribed, I'd love it if you would do so, because once we hit that 1,000 subscriber mark, YouTube loves to promote you more. So we can bring even more people in to enjoy this and to continue to expand our audience. So we appreciate it. All right. So with all that said, I would love to introduce Mayda Poc, and please say hello to everyone. Introduce yourself. Where are you from? Where are you located? What do you do? We'd love to hear all about you.
Hi, everyone, and thank you for inviting me. And I am more than elated is a small word. I'm honored. I'm elated. I'm very excited to be part of this huge expo, to be part of this huge community of light workers and healers, and all of this coming to you to show you that we are all working together into making the world a better place. We have been for centuries now, but now we're accelerating. A bit about me. My name is Mayda Poc. I am a life and career coach, and I work with mid-level executives who work in crazy places, i.e. corporates. And my job is mainly to have them see the light in themselves. So although I am someone who works with energies, I am someone who I define myself as being highly spiritual. This is not what I work with them on, but their spirituality and finding the light in themselves is the byproduct. As to where I'm coming from, since we have some time, I am of Syrian. I am Syrian. I grew up in Syria from Lebanese, Armenian, and many other things parents. My parents had to leave Syria when I was quite young, so I grew up in Syria and France. I got educated in France. I started working in finance in France, in Paris, then in London, then in New York, where I live. This is the place I call home. And hopefully this is a place where I can bring a bit more light, because sometimes it's really needed in here.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, yeah, so lots of fun thoughts there. When you said that you're Syrian, now if you think about our audience, they're thinking immediately, they're like, oh, okay, so she's from the planet Syria, or the star Syria and everything. So, oh wait, right, the Earth Syria, right?
Well, you don't know that.
Right. Well, it could be both, right? Why not? Yeah.
I don't think there is a coincidence in a lot of things. One of my teachers used to call me the serious Syrian, and I would say, well, yeah, I'm from Syria. And she's like, no, you're Syrian. I'm like, I just told you so. So we can have this dialogue for a long time.
Right. Oh my God. So you're the serious Syrian from the star Sirius. Like, oh my
from
God.
Syria. From the country Syria. I don't know.
And from the country Syria. It's all of it. Wow, that's amazing. Okay. All right. So then the other thing is, well, one of the reasons that you're here is because of our theme for this one. And our theme is envisioning our 5D society. And so not only are we going to have healers and light workers who are going to help our audience with that transition, but we also are bringing in people that are helping transform our society from this 3D fear-based society to a 4D and then on to a 5D unconditional love-based society. And so one of the ways that you're doing that, which is very interesting, is you're essentially working with Wall Street and helping them become more spiritual. Now, you did the way you just described it, you're kind of doing it almost like without their knowledge, right? But in a way, you know, it's kind of awesome because you are, and in that way, you're creating a catalyst for them, and that's really exciting.
Thank you. For me, you cannot force healing. You cannot force change. You could at a collective level. There's a lot of change that being forced, but at the individual level, it's not the most benevolent way for things to happen. I think life forces us to change, and this is when we have these crises coming up, and this is when generally they come and for me for help, because I've had my fair share of crises in life, and I developed a system or coping mechanisms or tools that can help them as well cope with it. The difference is that not everybody is ready to work with the higher self. We start healing with the lower self. We start healing with the beast inside of us, with the animal, with what is connecting us the deepest into our incarnation, and this is our body, and our body holds a lot of fears. And what is the biggest fear outside dying than money? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Money is everything. Money is our life. Money is our relationships. Money. I used to joke at some point in my life, telling people, you are ready to exchange DNA with a lot of different people, but God forbid you just give them some money or you share some of your money, right? It's imagine the level at which we hold money. It's become something extraordinary. It's fear, it's God, it's all of it.
Oh yeah.
It is all of it. But it is mostly a task for our own sense of wholeness and our sense of integrity. And once we get into the state of crisis, there's always money in the background, at least for these people, because we have been taught to just do. That's what we are. We're overachievers. We're people who have been told since we were we things. You have to have a very high level of education. You have to go to the best schools. You have to go to the best law firm, blah, 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 because what would people think about us? How are you out of your mind? Right? How many times do you hear that? Are you out of your mind? Well, yes, I am out of my mind because I'm back into my body. And part of the coaching that I work with them as well is to be a bit kinder to themselves, because there is a lot of pushing. And for many of the people that are looking, you know how harmful it is to push against anything, to be against anything. It's more about being with. It's more about being within. And the more you integrate that, the job is important, money is crucial, but it's only one part of the pie. And there is this huge pie that is yourself. And it's so much worth knowing, and it's so much worth almost worshiping. Because when you worship yourself, you worship Earth, you worship God, you worship your family, you get into a flow of life. And these fears are not going away. We're all scared, I'm sure, to die, to be destitute, to finish without a shelter, to die out of famine. This is what we have lived through centuries, and probably at the level of my grandparents, that was the case as well. So it's not that far away. But at the same time, we are not in this world anymore. So we don't need to behave as if anymore. We need to behave with what we have. And we have a pretty good thing going on, COVID or not, going into the energy of appreciation, loving the fact that we can have this conversation today without ending in a straitjacket, for example. I don't know, right? Or burnt.
For sure.
There are a lot of things today that allow us to get out of the survival. And even when the game, this is my favorite thing, is to watch the game and how the game tries to push us back again. And at some point, there is this huge fear inside of us, as in, but I'm never going to survive in a city like New York City, right? I mean, it's a very expensive city. Everything costs an arm and a leg, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And then you go back to, okay, what am I trying to do here? What is my mission on Earth? And my personal mission is to heal myself, for sure, because I come with some baggage. And like a lot of us, I have to go through some, rites of passage. And the second thing, it's about, once I went through my hero's journey, to be that person who is going to meet others in their own hero's journey and to accompany them. And all the people in this expo are one of these people that are going to meet others in the hero's journey. And the more we are into this hero's journey, and the less we need hero's journeys in reality, because it becomes like, okay, well, I've been through them.
Yeah.
No way.
Right. Yeah. Wonderful. Okay. And so what would you say then is going to be your topic so that people know why they should tune in, what they're going to learn from you?
What they're going to learn from me is how to integrate the lower chakras with the practice of the highest chakras. So I will show you ways that I do it, but also how I integrate this into the way I coach people who are absolutely not open to hear about chakras and what? No. So the idea is to go back to our essence here on Earth, because for me, we are spirits having a human experience. And to have the human experience, we need to feel it fully. To feel it fully, we need to be in the body. We need to feel the fears. We need to feel the emotions. We need to not escape. And certainly, I'm someone who would rather stay in my sixth chakra than in my first, second, and third.
Sure.
So there are ways to stay human, to stay connected with the environment. One of my biggest personal messages that I want to convey as well is that we're getting into more and more oneness, and oneness is the light of source.
Yes.
And whenever there is light, there is just shadow, and the shadow of the oneness is the collective. So we need to be very, very careful how we are taking in the collective, how we are participating into the collective, the way we think about things, the way we talk about things, not being against, but really just be for. The more we are for something, for healing, for the oneness, and the less we will be for the collective craziness, because unfortunately it's easy. That's part of a humanness. This is our first chakra, by the way. So first chakra is the collective. The seventh is the oneness. We can meet at the heart. That's why we have one.
Right. Yep. That's beautiful. I like the way you just said that. Very good. Okay. And then so you have next to your name there a website. What would happen if people were to log into that website?
They will see a lot of Wall Street stuff.
Right. Amazing, right? Like you're working with Wall Street directly. That's fantastic. And
they will see this.
Of changes in Wall Street. That's what's beautiful.
Yes. There is also a part called spirituality on Wall Street, and this is without being forcing things. It's something that, sometimes you wake up in the morning and you have something in your head, and if you don't do it, you feel that you're missing out in life. This came so strong that it had to be somewhere. The idea behind this is that, again, we don't need to force anything. We can talk to each other. We can influence each other. We can contribute to each other's life without being forceful, without being intolerant, but being open-minded. So this is what they will see. There is one part as well where I have some free resources as well, including a calendar, a yearly calendar, to just three a day, 3 appreciation points a day. This is part of taming the first chakra, is connecting it to the sixth. There was also a free download which is called "Find Your Guide to Your Serenity at Work." I cannot speak anymore, and it's about just finding little pleasures in every day, including when you work in places where sometimes you don't feel you belong. Sometimes you feel, you know what, I'd rather go into the cave somewhere in the Himalayas. It's so much nicer than here. It's tempting, but your work is here among us. So let's find ways to make it work for each of us and for the greater good.
Yeah. Sounds perfect. I'm very excited to have you. Thank you so much for joining
You
us
too.
today. And I look very much forward to seeing you in less than 2 weeks. Give your presentation and educate everybody on what you're doing and what you see as going on in the world. So thank you
Great.
so much. And we'll see you soon.
Absolutely. And goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.